the similarities and differences between Jesus and Nietzsche. Jesus Christ and Friedrich Nietzsche are two of the most significant figures in the history of Western civilization, representing opposite ends of the spiritual spectrum. In this article, we explore the similarities and differences between these two personalities. Identification with Jesus. Although Nietzsche is known for his rejection of traditional Christian values, he also had a deep identification with Jesus. The title of his autobiography, Ecce Homo, translates to "Behold the Man," the same words uttered by Pontius Pilate when he presented Jesus to the crowd before his crucifixion. Additionally, after his mental breakdown, Nietzsche signed most of his notes as either the Crucified or Dionysus. Thus spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche's most famous work, adopts the style of the Gospels, and the author himself asserted that Zarathustra stands for him. Much of what Zarathustra does and says alludes to Jesus, and much of what Nietzsche says about Jesus in the Antichrist alludes to himself. In this sense, Nietzsche is both in Zarathustra and in Jesus. Similarities between the two Jesus and Nietzsche share several similarities in their lives and teachings. For instance, both were wanderers without a home or repose, and both left everything behind, occupation and family, to dedicate themselves to a cause. One dedicated himself to the kingdom of heaven, while the other dedicated himself to the kingdom of earth. Both were frustrated by a lack of recognition and had a special place in their hearts for children and the childish state of mind. Furthermore, Jesus said about himself, "The foxes have holes, and the birds of the heaven have nests, but the Son of Man has not where to lay his head," while Nietzsche described his own state of restlessness in Beyond Good and Evil, saying, "Who are you? What have you been doing? Have a rest here. This place is hospitable to everyone. Relax. And whoever you happen to be, what would you like now? What do you need to recuperate? Just name it. What I have, I'll offer you." In the Antichrist, Nietzsche described Jesus in the same terms he used to describe himself. He called Jesus a free spirit and portrayed him as his own lawgiver. He saw him as a strange figure and added, "Such a compound of the sublime, the morbid and the childish." In the last analysis, the type, as a type of the decadence, may have been peculiarly complex and contradictory. Likewise, he saw himself as decadent, adding that, "The only thing I have always suffered from is multitude, the infinite variety of my own soul." Differences between the two. Despite the similarities between Jesus and Nietzsche, they also have significant differences. For instance, Jesus believed in establishing truth without the need for proofs, while Nietzsche rejected the idea of objective truth altogether. Jesus' glad tidings involved the abolishment of the concepts of sin, punishment and rewards, while Nietzsche talked about swallowing the bitterest drop of man's complete lack of responsibility for his behavior and for his nature. Conclusion. In conclusion, while Nietzsche's The Antichrist is not an anti-Jesus polemic, it is a critique of a particular church-oriented misinterpretation of the man. Nietzsche identified with Jesus and adopted some of his teachings and characteristics, while also rejecting some of the fundamental aspects of Christian doctrine. The similarities and differences between the two are manifold, but it is ultimately up to the reader to determine which of the two figures resonates with them more.